For this video, we're going to continue our lesson about word problems with measurements. This time we're going to be talking about area, and so the area of a square, if I make a square here, area represents all of the space inside the square. From the last lesson, we remember that perimeter is the outer edge or the boundary. So area is all the area inside of the square. And so the formula for area of a square or a rectangle, actually for a rectangle, is length times width. Now that works the same thing for a square, but remember, on a square, all the sides are the same. So if you know one of the sides, then you know the length and the width. And so the length is usually the distance from here on the bottom. So there's my length, and the width goes up and down like this, and that's my width. And so if I know those two values, I can multiply them and I'll have the area. And for a square, if I just know one of the sides, since the sides are all the same, it's just side times side, which is really the length times the width. It's the same concept. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first example. The gardener wants to plant grass in an area that is a square. In one side of the square, if one side of the square measures 3 feet, then how much grass does he need to purchase? So let's go ahead and draw that scenario. So this time it's a square, not a rectangle. And so it says one side is 3 feet. Now a square, all the sides are the same length. So that means right here is 3 feet also. So we could say truly length times width, because this distance right here we can call our length, and this distance right here we can also call our width. So we could just go 3 times 3. That would get me the area of this square. So remember, area equals length times width. And sometimes it's just easier to know one formula. And that would work for a square or a rectangle. You just got to remember on a square that all the sides are the same. So now all I need to do is go ahead and plug in these values. And so the length we can say is 3 feet times the width is also the same thing, 3 feet, because it's a square. So when I multiply 3 times 3, I get 9. Now it's 3 feet times 3 feet. So when I multiply feet, feet become squared units. And so the area, which is all this, he wants to print all this area inside the square with grass. So there's my grass getting filled in. And he would need 9 feet, and we call that feet squared of material. So there's the area of that square. For this example, we're going to talk about area of a circle. And so let's go ahead and draw a circle. So the formula for area of a circle is pi, that's this symbol, and remember that symbol pi represents 3.14 times r. R stands for the radius, and we want to square it. So it's pi r squared. That's our formula. Now remember, let's talk about what a r is. A radius, if I find the center of a circle, a radius is the distance from the center to the outer edge, and we call that the radius, or an r. And we don't want to get that confused with a diameter. A diameter is the whole entire distance, and so that is d for diameter. And I want to make sure that we see that if we have a radius here, there's one radius, and we make another radius going the exact opposite way, 2 radiuses make 1 diameter. So I want to keep that in mind as we go. So let's go ahead and take a look at this example. It says, how large is the area of a circular dining table? So let's go ahead and draw that. There's my circular dining table. And it has a diameter of 4 feet. And so a diameter goes all the way across, and that's 4 feet. All right, so they want to find the area. So area formula is area equals pi r squared. And so pi represents 3.14 times my r. Well, I know my diameter, so a radius is half of a diameter. So if I take 4 and I divide it in half, so if I divide it by 2, 2 divides into 4 2 times, so that means this radius is 2, and if I drew another radius, that one also represents 2, because 2 plus 2 is 4. So I only need one of the radiuses, so we'll take a radius. We're going to write 2, and we're going to square it. So we'll put it 2 squared. Now, to solve this, I have to multiply and I have to do exponents. So, if we follow the order of operations, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. P stands for parentheses. There are none in this problem. This is an order in which to simplify this problem. E stands for exponents, and I want to do exponents. M stands for multiplication. So I want to do the exponents before I multiply. So let's go ahead and do exponents first. So 2 squared means I have 2 of them. That's what this little raised number means. I have whatever it's raised to. In this case, it's a 2. It means I have 2 of them. So 2 times 2, and I do that through multiplication. 2 times 2 is 4. This comes down 3.14. That's my pi. So now I just need to multiply 4 times 3.14. And I'll have the area of that circle. So let's go ahead and do that. 3.14 times 4. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. And 4 times 3 is 12. If I count the number of places after the decimal, there's 2 places, so I need to bring the decimal in once, twice. So the area of this circle, or this dining table, is 12.56. And so notice we were talking about feet, so we will write it feet. And since area deals with squared units, so 12 and 5600ths feet squared, or squared feet. That's another way of saying it. And so those are 2 word problems that deal with area of a square or a rectangle and area of a circle.